will suspend until 10 o'clock tomorrow. Judge, I was going to, this is Mr. Brindley. Judge, I'm going to go first, Judge. I won't be long today, I don't think. Do you want to ask some questions now? I think I might be able to get done by 5 o'clock. All right, proceed then. Thank you, Your Honor. Cross-examination on behalf of the defendant, McDavid, by Mr. Brindley. Jane, my name is Bew Brindley. I'm a lawyer. I represent Derrell McDavid. I am going to, it's been a long day, right? Yes. So I'm going to try to get through this pretty quickly with you. I know it's been a long day. My first question has to do with, you said that you had met with multiple lawyers. I believe it's the law office of Ed Ginson, right? Yes. And there were different meetings you had with the various lawyers there, right? Yes. Now, the way Eddie's office was set up, there was a big suite with multiple offices, right? I can't remember the setup. Okay. Was there an area out in front where people could sit and there were offices where you could go back and talk? Does that sound right? I honestly don't remember the setup of the office. Okay. You know that there were occasions when you met with the lawyers and Derrell McDavid was in the office, right? Yes. Okay. But in terms of when you were actually talking to the lawyers behind closed doors, you can't really recall for sure whether he was in there at the time or whether he was out in the front. Is that fair to say? Yes. Okay. And you talked about having discussions with the lawyers about your cross necklace, right? Yes. The cross necklace is something that you had been asked about at the grand jury, right? Correct. The passport photo and the cross necklace is something that the state investigators knew about and they questioned you about it, right? Correct. That was back when you had a lawyer that Robert had gotten for you who was there with you, right? Yes. So this cross necklace was not some kind of a secret. It was known, right? Yes. At some point, you said the lawyers wanted you to give them the cross necklace, correct? Correct. Do you remember if you gave it to Eddie, Mr. Ginson? I'm not exactly sure who I gave it to. One of those guys, though, right? Eddie or Sam or one of the lawyers. Yes. Okay. And they asked you a question about the necklace too, right? Yes. They asked you about where did you get it, right? Uh-huh. Is that, you got to say yes or no for the reporter. Yes. They asked you about what it was made out of. I think you said, right? Yes. And you don't know whether they gave it to somebody to sign, to some kind of expert to look at to see if it could be regenerated on a video. You don't know what they did with it, right? No. You certainly don't know what the lawyers told you. You certainly don't know what the lawyers told to Mr. McDavid about the necklace, do you? No. You do know what the lawyers told to Mr. Davis about this case, Mr. McDavid, I'm sorry. You do know what they told him about this case in general, do you? No. You don't know the things the lawyer said to Derrell might have impacted his thinking about this whole situation, do you? No. And you don't know the things that the lawyer said to Derrell might have impacted his thinking about this whole situation, do you? No. Now, as I understand what you said here today, it's that Robert Kelly basically, I don't know how to put it. He coached you to lie to all kinds of people. Is that fair? Yes. He coached you to give false statements to your parents, right? Yes. He coached you to give false statements to whatever investigators you came across, right? Yes. He coached you to give false statements to a grand jury, right? Yes. And you did what he told you, right? Correct. Because as you have said it, he had that kind of power over you at the time. Fair to say? Yes. And Mr. Kelly, as I understand what you said, he was, according to what you said today, he was using this goddaughter, godfather relationship as a sort of cover to prevent anybody from knowing about the secret part of his life, right? Yes. Objection to that, Mrs. Bonjean. Misstates what her prior testimony was. What was the objection again? It misstates what her prior testimony was. Okay, the jury may remember. So go ahead. The godfather-goddaughter relationship, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I thought that you were saying that was some sort of used as a means of, as a cover to keep the secret, the relation, as a cover to keep secret the sexual part of the relationship, the sexual part of the relationship. Am I right? Yes. Okay. So it's fair to say then that based on what you described, Robert's saying to you today, he made it clear that there was a part of his life that involved you and the secret sexual relationship. He wanted to keep that a secret from the world, right? Yes. He was a public figure, right? Yes. He had a huge public persona that, excuse me, he had a huge public persona that you have said really appealed to you, right? Yes. And that public persona is far different than what you have been describing here today, right? Correct. So he, as you have said, as I understand you, he went through a lot of efforts in talking with you to make sure that the public part of his persona was never impacted by this secret part, right? I'm going to object. Her testimony is this. Her testimony on this stands. This is just Mr. Brinley recharacterizing. I don't know what it's relevant to. Her testimony about her conversation with Mr. Kelly had already been made that of her examination. He is just summarizing and recharacterizing to his liking. So I made a mistake earlier. This dude Brinley is not on Bonjean's team. He's the lawyer for Derrell, which is kind of crazy how they got R. Kelly and two other defendants in there on this case. And the other lawyers is also trying to help throw R. Kelly under the bus. Like, it's crazy, man. Her testimony on this stands. All right, I read that part. He just summarizing and recharacterizing to his liking. That's cross-examination, says Mr. Brinley. You don't need to argue. I'm overruling the objection. This is a cross-examination. He can lead the witness. How can he lead the witness? The witness is certainly able to disagree. If he characterizes your priority testimony incorrectly in your view, you can certainly able or should correct him. Okay? Mr. Brinley back. If I'm saying something wrong, please tell me. But I thought that you were saying was based. I thought what you were saying was basically that you had a public persona and this part of his life. I mean, that he had a public persona and this part of his life about the sexual part with you and some of the other people you talked about. He talked about making sure that never impacted his public life, right? Yes. It was supposed to be kept a secret. He took steps to keep it a secret, right? Yes. Okay. That went on throughout the duration between when you met him and this all started, and from the time the trial in 2008. That went on the entire time, this process of keeping it a secret from everybody, right? Yes. And you certainly didn't hear about Robert Kelly was telling Derrell McDavid when you weren't there about any of this, did you? Can you repeat that question? When you weren't around, you don't know what Robert told Derrell, do you? You said when I was around or when I wasn't? When you were not? No, I did not. Okay, but what do you know and what you described today is Robert was involved in an effort to lie about or deny this to the world, right? Yes. One moment, Your Honor. I have no further questions for the witness. Ms. Judge, will you be that quick? No, Judge. We will go tomorrow. All right. We will suspend until 10 o'clock in the morning. Members of the jury, do not discuss the case. Don't go on social media and describe your experiences or ask questions. Don't do any independent research. Don't discuss this case with your family or anything else. And don't read about it. But have a nice evening anyway. The court officer, all rise. Let's see. All rise. Jury out. 4:51 p.m. All right. Outside of the presence of the jury, does anybody want to put anything on record before we suspend until tomorrow? Yes, Judge. Again, I would renew my motion for a mistrial. This is clearly just incredibly antagonistic defense. I don't know how much Mr. Kelly should have to do to defend the case. We have the government to contend with. We have Mr. David to contend with. We have Mr. Brown to contend with. And we also have Mr. Brinley, who completely misled this court by me suggesting that when we did our motion to sever that, oh, this is just Ms. Bonjean being so overreactive and hysterical. She is just manufacturing a basis for a severance because she's upset not getting a continuance, which of course I didn't manufacture it. Clearly, this is always going to be antagonistic and where we are. So Mr. Kelly is in an unfortunate position of having the government, essentially three different government type of entities that he has to defend against. So we move for a mistrial. All right. The motion is denied. I suppose you did figure this is a little bit of a finger pointing, but as Judge Easterbrook said, that's sometimes not a bad thing. However, it is my understanding that to have sufficient antagonistic defense, that the jurors must make a choice between one or the other, and that's not the case here. So the motion is denied. Have a nice day, everybody. Ms. Bonjean, Judge, I'm sorry. I don't want to belabor the point, but it is. I would argue that it is actually precisely that scenario. I would be happy. I'm going to put it in writing, Judge. I'm not going to take up any more time tonight. That's fine. Put it in writing. Thank you. An adjournment was taken at 4:55 p.m. I'm going to stop there. And I'll come back tomorrow with they got some more stuff going on before. Oh, that's going to be good. Okay. Oh, so all right. So on the next one, Jennifer is going to cross-examine the government about these tapes, these clips, and then she's going to get to and then they got the direct examination coming from Miss Leon with Jane again. Yo, this is crazy because now Kathy Leon is an attorney for Mr. Brown. So she's getting ready to testify. I mean, cross direct examination with her to defend him about taking her to get the tattoo and stuff. The dude Derrell's defending the whole passport. Oh my God. Yo, R. Kelly got like that nigga's in there like Bruce Lee, like psh, 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 psh. Like, yo, he's fighting. He's fighting. So we gotta go through that. And then we also gotta get for R. Kelly to cross-examine Azriel as well. Oh, here go the cross Bonjean. Yeah. So tomorrow we'll get back to the R. Kelly, and then he's in court tomorrow again. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna make my way out there to Chicago to go sit in the trial to give y'all my personal perspective on the energy in the room and things like that. I'm really thinking about going out there for a few days to the trial and cover it like I did with the Cardi B case. Think I'm gonna make that decision tomorrow if I'm gonna go out there. But I think before the trial's over, I definitely want to hit Chicago and go through and see what's going on. Is this double jeopardy? Technically, yes. But being that they did it in the state and now it's federal, they saying it's not. But technically, it's in the same goddamn state, the same goddamn charges, the same goddamn people. This girl said it wasn't her before. Now she's saying it's her. It's twisted. It's so twisted. And then she got immunity. So like it ain't no repercussion for her. Like they like, yo, come throw this nigga under the bus. We look out for you. That's it. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. It should be a mistrial. Like the way they jumping him in there, man. I know this got to be crazy. Yeah, I got to go sit in that courtroom. I will be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. All right? 7 p.m. tomorrow. I will be back. Choke no joke. You know what it is. Thanks for all the love and support. Please like and subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. All right? Spread the word. Let them know. Choke no joke. It's going to come back tomorrow with part 4. And you never know. You might see me pop up in the courthouse. You know what I mean? Choke no joke. You know what it is. We got to do a panel once I get through Jennifer Bonjean's cross-examination. Then we got to do a panel because I need to hear from the people. I love all the conversations y'all got going on in the chat. I'll go back and watch it, and then I read all y'all comments in the chat. Y'all can leave comments on the, under the video too, if y'all want to strike up a conversation on there too. All right. Make sure y'all follow me, Choke No Joke Official on Instagram. Stay in tune with this case. This is going, man. You know what it is, man. Choke No Joke. Moderate this part.
Oh yeah. My man had to come through and make sure it went through.
This thing when they act up. I hate when they act up. 1 second. Put your shout outs on the screen. I put them on the screen.
Oh yeah. My man had to come through and make sure it went through. Y'all niggas is in trouble. Choke no joke. I ain't no joke, the mixtape. We here now. You already know. Let's go. Choke chillin', got away from them billin'. Ain't shit really changed though, I'm still that villain. I'm making money with rhyme, fuck black on black crime. Beef and money don't mix, like Muslims and swine. I'm talking milk, penicillin, y'all be illin'. Y'all be thinking y'all killers, with y'all school face grillin'. Kick that bullshit to me, y'all be wet though like Bruce Lee. And Brandon and Hearst on the highway to heaven. Man, you making mad threats and stuck in one section. I'm OBP like Naughty, making connections. Talking under your breath, get you something you don't need. 2 fully loaded Macs, filled up with heat. nigga, you sweeter than 30 days for a body. Pop shit to these niggas. See me walk by me, but I ain't looking for no beef. I don't eat bologna, but I bring a whole cow. If you run up on me, shiesty. Try me and hype me to peel your wig back like 10 cent icy. Bring it, stop bluffing, I got your threats, they mean nothing. I respond like Bond, I come through, I'm bombing. Playing bodegas, flipping Montega. You tan in the Jacks, I tan in Jamaica. Faker, wouldn't bust if he raped ya. Your chick out blazed her, hit it like Jada. Why you blew up a pager, had a breathe like Vader. Your star at war, with the lightsaber. I'm here to lyrically tear your red, nigga, you a spear. I jack you up, now you out of here. Throw me on the 600. Now fucking nigga hum it. Blowing down 8th Ave with a bad bitch blunted. I take it there. Y'all niggas don't want it. Y'all niggas don't want it. Y'all niggas don't want it with no joke. Who you thought it be? Represent the NYC. Bring it on if you niggas want some with me. Have y'all niggas feeling it like Jay-Z. No joke. Who you thought it be? Represent the NYC. Bring it on if you niggas want some of me. Bronze King like the LORD-FINE-SC. And that bullshit y'all do, y'all niggas don't stress me. Oh yeah, and you already know, eat and war what it is. Choke, no joke, I ain't no joke. The mixtape, we here now. Yeah, legal hustle, mega. You know what it is. It's choke, no joke about killing heat. Left my boo in my dues when I saw the heat. Was gone in 30 seconds, more like 23. Took flight like Mike, number 23. Before the indictment came, I split like Jada, didn't get wet like Kane. Got out the game. I went from the tunnel, now movie making. So it ain't no confusing why you dudes be hating.